Alright guys, so I want to address a little situation that I got myself involved in last night, and I want to preface this at the start of the video. This is not some kind of like attack or hate or anything like that. This is not me trying to start a witch hunt. This isn't me trying to, expose this person or anything like that. This is me just breaking down what happened, giving a critique on it, and giving some transparency to what I was trying to say. So I'm going to say up front, don't go out of your way to harass this guy. He's not a bad person. All I'm going to do here is just explain my perspective more in depth so you can understand what it was that I was trying to say and critique some of his arguments and how he responded to the whole thing. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get right into it. So let's give a little bit of context here. Last night, I was working and, at my job, I'm able to be on my phone. So I'm like scrolling through YouTube. And I noticed that Zaire is a Xenoverse 2 YouTuber. He was streaming Xenoverse, surprisingly. And so I decided to tune in to see what's going on because I am subbed to his channel, but I don't watch him all that much. To be honest, I am subbed to him, but it's not like I watch him every day or anything. But, I tuned in to see what's going on in the stream, just purely out of curiosity, And, he seemed to be just chilling with this. He seemed to really just be chilling with the homies, man. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, what stood out to me was the title of the stream. It read something like, competitive fights or something like that. I don't know exactly what it said. He changed it a few times over the course of the stream, which is unfortunate. But basically, yeah, it seemed like what he was doing was, yeah, he was chilling, but at the same time, he was looking for, competitive play. He was wanting more competitive matches. Basically, just a high skill caliber gameplay. That's basically, it seemed like that's what he was wanting to do. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I was in chat and I was just making a point about how, if you want competitive lobbies, you're going to have to deal with, you're probably going to end up dealing with people who are going to cheese, because when you want quote unquote sweaty lobbies, you're asking people to fight at their best. So when they're fighting, and when people are fighting at their best, that means they're trying their best to win. When people are going try hard mode, it means that they're trying their best to win. They're going to do any means necessary to win a match. And if that means cheesing, they might end up doing that because, again, they're try harding. They're trying their best to win. So they're going to win however they can. So if they're picking, top tier characters, it is what it is, right? What Zaire doesn't like, and obviously, I don't blame him, and he doesn't like people who cheese, and that's fair, right? I don't like people who cheese either, but when you're advertising your stream as a competitive stream, when people read the title of that stream and join, and they're going to be under the impression that, okay, this dude is looking for competition. So when a tryhard joins you, you can't complain if he starts doing things you don't like, because that's what you're inviting, that's what you're setting up when you title your streams that way. So it kind of got down to an argument like what it means to be cheesy, or what it is to be a tryhard, or what it means to be competitive. It just kind of, to be honest, it was a redundant argument because we were basically just arguing semantics. Like there is no objective, there is no objective definition of what it means to play cheese in this game. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's going to have their own interpretation of what that means. So there's no objective look on what it means to be a cheeser or what it is to be competitive, because the game is not competitive. There are no rules. There is no official rule book. So it really just comes down to personal opinion.
Since we're talking about it, to me, sweat is essentially going all out for some, while cheese is supported to be easy. It's supposed to be easy. Yeah, pretty much. I kind of agree with that. Like I said, I understand where y'all are coming from with these definitions. And again, that's why, if you notice, we all kind of have our own different meaning for it. Like, JabYT has his definition for what cheese is. I'm gonna pin your comment, Ruhuff, to the top because I love your input. You're also a very opinionated. I was gonna say opinionated individual. Sweat matches is something people do enjoy. People do enjoy competitive play, and some people, hey, they want to see how I play. And just know, I'm not the best player. I don't think I would necessarily be the greatest guy in competitive play. There are definitely people out there that I'm sure have a lot of skill. Like, for example, one small YouTuber named Sauce Baby Ray, who I matched recently. He's extremely good. You want a competitive player, I would match up with Sauce Baby Ray. He's really good. And JabYT is a decent fighter as well. I fought Jab. He's really tough. And he won't mess around and cheese neither. I've matched him. He's really nice. He doesn't fuck around spam blocking or any of that neither. I'll give him his credit there. He's really good.
So just to pause real quick, he said that we fought before. That is not true. Not to my recollection. I really don't even play PvP anymore. When it comes to Xenoverse, unless I'm hanging out with the homies in Discord and they say want to play Xenoverse, I'll be like, maybe I guess I'll join up, do it endless or 3v3 or something. But other than that, I don't play online, so we've never once ever interacted on the game before. Maybe you know, many moons ago before he started his channel. Maybe I fought him years ago, but as Zares, no, I never fought him. Also, I want you guys to pay attention to the right side of the screen what I'm saying in the chat, because those are going to be the things that he's responding to. And I want to say real quick, before it gets, you know, into like the weird stuff later on, it's kind of hard to articulate all your thoughts into text. It's really hard to explain what you're trying to say when you're just texting on the screen. It's really hard to get somebody to understand where you're coming from, understand your perspective when, you know, they're reading it and they don't know how you're saying what you're saying. So they just kind of interpret it and perceive it the way they see it in their mind, and it can kind of, you know, cause them to misinterpret what you said. And that's one of the problems here that was what you're going to see later on is the fact that he's reading chat while playing. He's not seeing my messages until later because of chat delay, and I'll say something, respond to something he had said maybe 10-15 seconds ago. He's saying something that's completely different, and so when he's reading that, he thinks he's talking, you know, to me in real time, but no, I'm behind. So it's hard to really, in a situation like this, you're really at a disadvantage as a viewer when you're chatting in someone else's live stream. It really is, because you can't articulate all your points. It's hard to get your points across the way you want it to, because you're not actually, you know, verbalizing anything. You're just texting it on a screen for them to interpret, and it's hard to do it that way. So I'm just bringing that up for future reference because it's going to be important later on.
We got some comments coming in. Doesn't matter how they play, even if you find it cheesy, you have to be aware of the energy you're inviting and play around it. No, not at all. Not at all, Jab. No. Like when I'm playing with my subs, we play clean, dude. We play clean. So if we're going to be doing, you know, a competitive match, like play clean. That's my whole channel. So I disagree with what you're saying, bro. I don't have to play around it if my subs are cheesy. My subs know how to play, bro. JSK's a nice player. He knows how to play. Right now, I'm doing a stream where, like, most randoms and whatnot, you know, they're obviously going to be playing kind of like how JSK is, you know, it's a bit sweaty. I'm trying to get to JSK to play actual competitive, because we're not even really playing sweaty. He's not even using like a sweaty player, and I know JSK, and I play with him off stream. The only issue I really have with JSK is when he does his like spamming. So okay, so here's the deal. So the stream right now, the goal is to play like sweaty, and a lot of people are gonna be cheesing. Obviously, they've been doing that, right? That's not an issue.
So he says here, the goal of the stream is to have competitive match. He also acknowledges that there might be people who will try to cheese, and that he has no issue with it. Keep this in mind, guys.
Yeah. So basically the goal of the stream right now is just to play competitively, and obviously, you know, we're gonna be playing sweaty, cheesy, or whatever and stuff, and I'm gonna have to figure out how to get around it. And then I'm also gonna be playing a bit cheesy, right? They're gonna have to figure out their way to get around it. That's what's been going on, Jed. But there's something you're missing, right? My subs like Ruhuff and this and that and the third, right? A lot of the homies that I play with, every other stream that I have, we're not doing the sweating and the cheesing. So when I'm playing with J-Ski, like right now, I'm telling him like, yo, let's vibe, dude. Oh, you're talking about this stream specifically. I get you, but I still disagree, dude. I want my guys to play like how my guys play, man, because like we should be playing nicely. That's how we should play. Or let me know ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? Let me know you're gonna sweat. That's what me and Michael were doing and all that good stuff.
So he still disagrees with what I said, even though he said specifically that this stream verbatim.
So basically the goal of the stream right now is just to play competitively, and obviously, you know, we're gonna be playing sweaty, cheesy, or whatever and stuff, and I'm gonna have to figure out how to get around it. And then I'm also gonna be playing a bit cheesy, right? They're gonna have to figure out their way to get around it.
The goal is for competitive play. I'm simply saying that if you're inviting challenge, you can't then complain when said challenge arrives to your doorstep. You can't complain about people using certain characters like Goku or whatever, using whatever tactics to win, and then say, oh, I'm just trying to chill. You can't do that. It also doesn't help when you put, you know, 15 plus streak, 20 plus streak. When you put that in your title, it just incentivizes people even more to try to challenge you and to try to take you out by any means necessary. It's just the nature of streaming on YouTube as a YouTuber. It's just what happens when you stream this game and you have a decent following. People see that and they want to say, hey, I want to beat that guy, because they feel validated in beating YouTubers. I don't know what it is, but that's just what people like to do. It is what it is. It's happened to me plenty of times, man. It happens to everybody. You know, you just want to have a chill stream, and then people show up wanting to, you know, be toxic and just ruin the fun by being assholes. But in this situation here, when you want competition, when the competition comes, you have to just get around it. It's really that simple.
All right. Okay, that's fine. It's just a bit No. It's not contradictory. It's not. It's the stream title's this, but the subs. Let's try to like play nicely, bro. It's his choice though. Still, if he wants to not. You want competitive play, but you also want people to play cheese. But you also don't want people to play. Yeah. Okay, got you there. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I wish people could play competitive without cheese, bro. Like I really wish, cause it's possible. Like you said, Jab, earlier, like it's possible. It's just people don't do it. That's what I mean when I say that's the energy you could potentially invite. Yeah. If you want more casual matches, that's cool, but don't put compet. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right. I can't really argue that. It's just my thing is like, and you get it right. The channel is this channel we don't sweat, so it's like the subs that join. The goal is if y'all tap in, let me know if you're going to participate in the sweat. So that way I don't just cheese you all of a sudden. Because what happened is earlier on, if you were here, that dude Michael and a lot of guys were playing nicely. And so I didn't want to just like sweat on them.
So this is where the contradiction comes in again, because again, he titles the stream, competitive fights, competitive gameplay, whatever he titles it. I just know competitive was in the title, okay? Again, so you can't market your channel as just, a chill space, not competitive, just chill vibes, but then also title your streams that way. You're sending mixed signals there. And then on top of that, you're getting, 15, 20, 30 streaks on an endless match. You put that in your title. Someone could look and they'd be like, oh, this guy's a tryhard. Look at, he's streaking lobbies. He's streaking endless lobbies with Blue Gogeta. And to a lot of people, Blue Gogeta is a top tier character. So, I mean, we'll get into that in a little bit. We talk about top tiers, but even again, that's subjective, which again makes the whole argument just completely redundant when you have your own subjective interpretation of, you have your own personal tier list, and all this just comes down to personal opinions. But my whole thing is just, who cares, right? Like who cares at this point? If someone comes in your lobby playing a certain way, just it's whatever. If you don't want comp, then just say you don't want comp. Kick somebody out if they're playing cheesy or whatever. If they're picking characters you don't like, just kick them out, remove them. But if you want competition, and if they play that way, just who cares, right? It doesn't matter. If they're cheesing, they're cheesing. Just get around it or don't deal with it and just kick them out. That's all I was really trying to say here.
That's one thing I rock with, bro. When someone like when they're like transparent, if you're like, hey, I cheese that fight, GG's or whatever, or I spam blocked or whatever, like, if you come out and admit your shit, bro, you're good. But if you come around picking Goku base and you're like, oh, I'm just using base form Goku, knowing that's an S tier character, it's like, bro, you're beating behind the bush, bro. Like, you know what you're doing. You just don't want to admit it. You know what I mean? Yeah, Jab. I don't really get you fully, but I understand where you're coming from, honestly. I know you're trying to help, but it's just a bit confusing because, we also agree they're both subjective, but they may be subjective terms, right? Cheese and sweating, but obviously cheese isn't sweating and sweating isn't cheese. And that's why I'm saying, if we're gonna sweat with the subs, like don't just cheese. If you're full flesh cheesing, then you're making it not fun. And this is a sweaty lobby. This is not a cheesy lobby. So we do still not want like just full flesh cheesers. Don't come up in here with like a infinite stamina build or stuff like that. Maybe I have a title that may throw some guys off, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Still don't like cheesing. I'm still Ziz.
I mean, that's fair, man. I don't like to deal with cheese either, but if you're saying you want sweaty lobbies, that's going to probably happen. You're going to have people coming in here trying to cheese you. It's just something that might happen. Now, you can have rules. I'm not saying you can't have rules. You can say, hey, I don't want you doing this. I want you playing like that. If you play like this, you're going to get kicked. And that's fine. That's fair enough. You just got to be transparent about that before they join, right? If it's just, your subscribers you're playing with. Obviously, when it comes to randoms and they join your lobby, if you're playing with randoms, you can't be mad when they come in your lobby playing that way because they don't know who you are. They're randoms, right? They're just playing to win at that point. They don't know. They're just playing. They don't know how you're going to play, so they're just doing everything they can to win. You can't hold that against randoms who don't know who you are for just coming in and joining the lobby and playing how they normally play against you when they don't know your rules. But when it comes to subscribers, yeah, if that's what you have set for your subscribers and your viewers in the stream, if you're doing like a subscriber only stream and those are the ground rules you want to set, that yeah, hey, we can play, semi-competitively. Just don't resort to cheap tactics. Don't be playing, cheese, and define what it is that you see to be as cheese and ban it, right? I think that's something that we both can agree on there. So it seems so far that everything's, kind of mutual. Like, yeah, we agree to disagree. We're having a cordial, conversation, right? There isn't no hostility, but it gets dicey a little bit later on. I just don't. It's gonna get crazy. Just wait. Just wait.
Ooh, that's GG's. Or is it? Or is it? I don't know if Michael wants to fight with super armor or not at this point. It looks like he's not, so we're chilling. Yeah, see, that's how you play sweaty. This is how, in my subjective definition, this is how I define it.
Basically playing casual, right? So his definition of playing sweaty is just playing casual, basically. Because in a competitive setting, someone pops super armor, they're going to fight you with it. Now, you may say, "Oh, that's cheese. That's cheesy." Well, yeah, but it's competitive. Yeah, of course, he's trying to win. That's the whole point of a competition. You're trying to win. So if someone's playing competitive and they're trying to win, they're going to fight you with super armor. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, you could argue that it's still cheap just to pop the super armor in the first place, but I mean, it didn't bother him. Obviously, he's cool with the guy. He's friends with the guy. He knows him. So, it's something that, you can do with your homies. Like when you're just playing casually with your friends, y'all might pop super armor just for shits and gigs, right? But y'all not taking it super serious, right? You may pop the super armor and you might just be like, I'm gonna back off, we're chilling. I still pop the super armor, but, it's all in good fun, right? It's not so serious to the point where they're literally fighting each other with super armor or all these other things. They're not running away. They're not doing any of those things. So it's really just more of a casual environment. But again, that contradicts what he said earlier about it being a sweaty type lobby.
The goal of the stream right now is just to play competitively, and obviously, we're going to be playing sweaty, cheesy, or whatever and stuff, and I'm going to have to figure out how to get around it. And then I'm also going to be playing a bit cheesy, right? They're going to have to figure out their way to get around it.
Which, again, is my whole point, because I guarantee if he had popped super armor and started fighting him, he would have probably taken issue with that. But again, that just goes back to my whole point where you want competition, you want people to play competitive, you want people to be sweaty, but at the same time, you don't want them to use any means necessary to win a fight. And that's just not how it works. That's just not what it means to be competitive.
And for me, again, sweat is subjective. And for me, sweating is not like, it's not necessarily literally sweating in your seat. For me, sweating is like going, pretty much going hard, going hardcore, like using, say, an OP character or using a broken character. Like that, to me, that's sweaty. Like a character can be sweaty to me, right? It's like you're picking Bardock, right? Like that's sweaty, right? If it's a mismatch for a character I'm picking. Like right now I'm just picking Gogeta Blue, right? That's like an A tier, right? Picking like Cooler, that'd be like an S tier. And I could whoop a damn Cooler's ass, but again, it's like, because they're not too far apart. But if I were using Raz, for example, right? It's a mismatch.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely characters that are better than others. That's kind of the whole point. If you want the lobbies to be competitive, you can't then complain about people picking top tiers. I mean, yeah, those are going to be the most competitive characters that people are going to use because those are going to be the best ones to use, and you're trying to win. So if you want to use the best options that you have available to you to win, so yeah, they would pick characters like Bardock or Cooler or Hit or something like that. And if you pick, a low tier like Raditz, that's on you because you know that people are picking top tiers on you. You know that you have a competitive lobby. People are joining you and picking top tiers, yet you're still picking low tiers. You can't then complain about people picking high tiers when that's what you wanted. You can't complain about that. Either pick the low tier and beat them with the high tier or pick the high tier yourself. You can't complain about them picking high tiers when that's what you're asking for. We didn't talk about where we put characters on tier lists, and it's redundant because his ranking is different to my ranking. It's really pointless to argue, who's on what tier when we scale them differently, so that's completely irrelevant. But it did lead into a conversation about Hercule, which I thought was kind of interesting.
I just don't think Hercule is as OP as you give credit for. I just don't think he is at all. I play with a whole lot of Hercules, and honestly, if we're ranking Hercule without block spamming and spamming that infinite string over and over, like without cheesing with Hercule, he's honestly a very weak character. I didn't include, those block spammers that think they're good with Hercule but they're not. I didn't include that because in my opinion, again, it's not actual skill, That's like that cheesing stuff, I think an actual Hercule that isn't just spamming their cancels the whole game would lay more towards a C tier, somewhere near Raditz and stuff, because honestly, if you're playing, in moderation of, his cancels and you're actually timing everything you're doing, it's kind of tricky, to operate it. Hercule good, but the super still carries it. Yeah, but even then, dude, Hercule's just an easy-ass character to get around, dude. He can't teleport, so he's just, really restricted on, what he can do. Well, yeah, it makes him broken, but if you don't know how to use it responsibly, you're just going to be just spamming it on him. I mean, if you're spamming it on him, I guess, yeah, that makes you an A tier character, but He's not no S tier, because like even when you're spamming it, dude, it's easy to get around it. You can say that about any characters. Well, no, you can't, dude. You can't spam block cancels with Goku base form. You can't spam that block cancels with Cooler or a Cyberman for that reason, dude. What are you talking about? You told me you can't take that. Yes, I can. The thing that you guys need to understand is that, you know, you can cheese with any character. If we're including cheese, dude, Fu's literally the most broken character, point blank, period. No questions asked. No one's even close to Fu. If we're talking cheesing, like with spam blocking, playing timid, using broken cheesy tactics, Fu's the most broken character in the game. And maybe second to him might be Hito. Again, why I didn't put him up there in the tier list, because I didn't include his cheese. If you're not cheesing with Hit and you're actually switching up your combos during the match, you're playing strategically, Hit doesn't have that much to offer, right? If you're not just knocking the opponent away just so you can get that transformation off, so you can hit them with time skip Molotovs and then the game's over, if you're not doing that, bro, Hit Awoken isn't really as broken as like Cooler, for example, who has naturally fake blast.
So yeah, he has a different way of ranking the cast characters. He doesn't rank it based on max potential. When it comes to ranking characters, I take the characters at their absolute peak, which to me is the right way to do it, because why would you downplay a character's potential and say, oh, well, this character, well, if you take this away from him, if you take away the thing that makes him broken, then he's really not that good. That's something you can do for literally every character in the game. And that's what I was saying when I said you can say that for any character and you can't just take that away and say he's not broken. And he responded to saying, oh, what are you talking about? And that goes back to what I was saying about how, you're reading chat and you read the messages too late. You're already, further into the conversation. I'm replying to something he said, 10, 20 seconds ago. He's just now seeing that reply to something he said 20 seconds ago. And then he thinks I'm talking to him in real time. And that's not what I was saying. I was saying you can make that argument about every character. You can say CACs, if you take away a male Saiyan square triangle, then he's not that good. If you take away his Super Saiyan Blue evolution, he's really not that strong. I mean, if you no shit. Like, if you take away the mechanic or the feature, the aspect of the character that makes them broken, then yeah, obviously they're not going to be broken anymore. The reason why Hercule is so broken is because he can block cancel. It's because of his iframes. You give that same functionality that Hercule has to any other character, they would be more broken than Hercule, because if he didn't have that, yeah, he would be lame. But then you give that same function to everybody else. Like, imagine if Fu could block cancel. Imagine if Hit could block cancel. Imagine if Cooler could block cancel. The same way that Hercule can. They'd be even more broken than they already are now. So that's the whole point that I'm making. Is like, that's why he's so broken, is because of that mechanic. That mechanic elevates him to that status. So that was the argument I was making. Like, you can't say, oh, well, Goku without Thank You Dragon Ball is Goku without God Fist, Goku without Burst Kamehameha, Goku without Shock Flash. Then you take all that stuff away, he's really not that good. But you can't, when you're talking about customs and we're looking at custom characters and the things and the tools that they have, you have to take those into consideration. You have to look at the characters objectively. You can't cherry pick and say, okay, well, I'm going to get rid of this aspect of the character and then rank him that way. That's just not, that shows bias on your side. I can't say, well, Fu, he would be top tier, but I'm going to take away the things that would make him top tier and I'm going to put him lower on the tier list. It heavily skews the list, and it's just not going to give an accurate representation of how potent his characters actually are. It just doesn't give you a clear idea of how good the characters are. I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, it's still going to come down to, personal opinion on who's on what tier and who's better than who and who's bad and who's good. With a few exceptions, I think people can unanimously agree on who's actually at the top. But when it comes to ranking them, you have to be as objective as possible. You can't cherry pick. Now, the conversation continues, and I want you to listen to his reasoning for his ranking here.
That's how I rank characters. When I rank them, I take them at their best. I guess, fair enough. I don't. I take them at their best when you're playing responsibly. Okay, so it's different. It's similar, but not the same. Like, that's again why I ranked, for example, Goku Black at like up there with Cooler, because the Dims gave him literally Aura Slide and Don't Go All Out, right? To my knowledge at the time of the video, right? So at that time, right, that's what it was, right? That's what made that character just naturally broken. It's like, game, how are you going to give this guy a guaranteed win preset? Like, how are you going to do that, man? That's crazy. Yeah, responsibly, dude. Responsibly. All right, let's do this, bro. Let's do this. Like, without spamming. Jab says, who determines what is or isn't responsible? honestly, it's subjective, dude. So it's up to me. So, or for this case, it'd be up to you, right? So it's just whoever plays it responsibly. I think you think about stuff a bit too much, bro. It's really not that. It's really not that complicated, bro. You this guy, he's like, well, who determines what is or isn't responsible? And if it is or isn't responsible, then who determines that? Nah, yeah, just anybody, bro. Like, it's just, if you can play a character, responsibly, that's, that's what I'm rating it on a tier list, right? If you're not spamming too much, you're not cheesing too much, Like, yeah, it's all subjective, bro. Jab, you remind me of Serenity. Serenity is a person that's very opinionated. Every video I make, it's always like, a very complex idea or a suggestion or opinion. It's awesome. It's awesome. I just, as far as, responsibly goes, dude, it's like, not that big of a focus, but I like your concept, though. You like digging deep on everything, which is cool.
Okay, so yeah, first thing, I said this many times in the stream because he had brought it up. I don't know why he thinks that Goku Black had Don't Go All Out. He doesn't have that. Okay. The Super Soul that he came with, I Like You Better When You're Mad, the Immortal Super Soul, those are the only Super Souls he has. He only has 4, I think. He doesn't have Don't Go All Out. He has the Bomb Ki Blast, but he doesn't have Don't Go All Out. So he's wrong about that. Yeah, I told him that several times, but he didn't believe me. But yeah, that's wrong. He doesn't have Don't Go All Out. You can literally check it yourself. He doesn't have it as a fact. But yeah, anyway, his philosophy on ranking the characters, he ranks it based on how responsible you are with the characters. And I was like, what? I've never heard anybody use that terminology before. So that's why I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean to be responsible? And he says himself, oh, it's subjective. Well, then that renders the term basically useless. It doesn't mean anything because how you define responsibility can be different by how I define it or everybody else defines it, right? So when you're making a tier list based on your own subjective view on what it means to be responsible, quote unquote, with said characters. But again, I mean, it does come down to personal opinion. So if you want to gauge what characters are the best characters to use, I think it's best to try to be as objective as possible. Yeah, you could throw a few in, like, okay, I like this character more than this character, so I'll personally put it higher. But using this term responsible, I just wanted to know what exactly he meant by that, because it's like, to me, that just doesn't really make sense to me. I've never heard anybody, I've never heard anybody use that term ever. And things like, well, you're just thinking about it too much. You like to find deeper meanings and everything. It's not that. Well, I mean, it's just that I pay attention and I think about what people say. I don't just let the information go through one ear and come out the other. No, I kind of like, I sit on things. I hear what people say. I'm like, wait, what? Does that make sense? It's called critical thinking. I kind of think about what people say, and I like to challenge perspective. That's what I like to do. So I hear something. I'm like, okay, so what do you mean by that? Explain it. You say this, but can you actually explain in depth what that means? I like to just challenge perspective. That's just what I like to do. I'm a critical thinker. It's a skill that a lot of people are lacking, which sucks, but I'm just hearing what you're saying, and I want to understand what it is that you mean. But simply pointing out that I'm asking you about it doesn't explain what it means. I mean, like, you're the one that made the claim. You're the one that said, oh, it's about playing responsible. So then when I ask you, okay, what does that mean? Well, oh, you noticed that I said that? Don't overthink it, man. I mean, I just want to know what it means. It's really that simple. I mean, like you said, it's subjective, and you defined it based on, I guess, what you said. It's about spamming or cheesing, or if they're not spamming or cheesing. But again, it's like, it doesn't mean anything, because anybody can look at how you play and gauge based on, their own personal idea of what cheese and spam is. They can say that you spam or that you cheese. They could see you key cancel and say, oh, you're a cheeser because you key cancel, because there's still people out there who believe that key canceling is cheese, unfortunately. So they can see that and say, hey, you're a cheeser. They can say, hey, key canceling is not responsible play. So again, I mean, it's just another useless term. It doesn't mean anything, it seems. So again, I don't think you should be cherry picking when making tier lists, unless the tier lists are strictly just opinion based, where it's like, okay, these are the characters that I like, these are the characters I like to play the most. Then yeah, in that case, then yeah, you can put fucking I don't know, a Cyberman above Hit. Like, you could put Hit at D tier and put a Cyberman at S because that's your favorite character, whatever, right? If it's just strictly based on which one gives you the most enjoyment to play, which is the most fun to play, that's completely different. But when you're talking about, best to worst, and yeah, again, it's still going to be somewhat opinion based, but I think You have to take the characters at their best and look at them objectively. You can't cherry pick and say, oh, well, you have to use them responsibly. You can't spam with that character. Like, no, if that's the tool that they have, then that should be taken into consideration when ranking them and putting them on the tier list. Now, sometime after that conversation, Zara's put up a poll asking people how they play Xenoverse 2. Like if they're casual or if they're competitive, things of that nature, they could vote how they play the game. And I said I play mods. It's kind of like a little joke, like, oh, how do you play Xenoverse 2? Well, I play mods. That's how I play Xenoverse 2. And it's here where things started to derail.
Serenity with the comments. Okay, let's see. So I'm usually more sweaty than casual. Okay, cool. Got you. I actually feel that because of how you messaged me, how we tapped in. I feel you. A bit more sweaty. I kind of feel that. I kind of picked up that energy from you. Fair enough. Jab says, how I play in PvP comes down to who I'm fighting. I don't blame you for that, dude. Because, like, what does Zeus do? When he goes into, like, a sweaty nerd picking Bardock all day, I pick the Giant Namek or I just pick Gogeta Blue and I just end their shit. I don't like playing sweaty. You play sweaty, you might as well be cheesing me, bro. I don't like doing any of that competitive play. You play sweaty, you might as well be cheesing me, bro. I don't like doing any of that competitive play. Obviously, cheese isn't sweating, and sweating isn't cheese. So basically, the goal of the stream right now is just to play competitively, and obviously, you know, we're going to be playing sweaty, cheesy, or whatever and stuff, and I'm going to have to figure out how to get around it. And then I'm also going to be playing a bit cheesy, right? They're going to have to figure out their way to get around it.
Okay, so another contradiction. So before, he wanted to separate the two, but now he's conflating the two. If you're playing sweaty, you might as well be cheesy. So even just somebody simply picking a character like Bardock or Hit or something like that, he sees that as cheese, I guess. He also says he doesn't like playing competitive, even though he said the whole goal of the stream was to play competitive. Ugh, the confliction, man. He then also said that's when he uses Giant Namekins or Bardock, and that's what really got this ball rolling.
You pick Giant Namek on... Yeah, I picked Giant Namek on Bardock players, bro. I'm not no sweat, bro. I don't like sweating like that. Ugh. And Steezy's like 100%. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't like sweaty nerds, man. I don't do that shit. Don't pick Bardock against me in a match, bro. You're gonna end up messing around finding out, bro. Yeah, I just don't play like that. Sweaty no lights like that, I have no time for it. It's like, why not actually have fun, bro? Why instead of doing the triangle square and, you know, all that nonsense, or the hit awoken infinite combos? Ew. And I'm surprised you're asking that, bro. I do this every stream. You pick Bardock, bro, you gonna mess around and find out. I don't like fighting cheesy players. Especially S+ tiers, bro. You gotta be tweaking, bro. Ugh. You think I'm a sweaty player like that? Nah. Yeah, instead of sweating, you resort to cheating, LOL, but it is what it is, I guess, yeah. I'm a whole modder, fam. It's what it is. But it's really instead of cheesing, bro. It's mainly cheesers, bro. If you cheese me, dude, that's really what it is. Yeah, I'm just not one of those guys, man. I don't know. I'm just not one of those guys. I never liked, like, you know, cheesers and stuff in general. I used to hate fighting cheesers when I didn't have mods, bro, and like they would just be cheesy and they'd be talking all that cat, bro. Like, nah, fam. I have to end you, bro. Hell nah. Nah, bro. I get you out the lobby, fam. I just tear you to bits, bro. You gone, bro. Cause you wanna play by some like cheesy, unfair rules, bro. There's no honor in like sweaty matches, you know, these days, man. Everybody just picks some broken character like Hit Awoken or whatever, and they just cheese, dude. They just sweat their balls off. I'm not like those guys.
You're right. You are not like those guys at all. In fact, you would be worse than the so-called cheeses you were fighting against because you're doing what they're doing, but worse. So basically what he was trying to do here was justify his use of using mods against people who cheesed him first, I'm guessing. And then he just said, fuck it, yeah, I'm just going to start using mods on people who cheese me or people who pick top tiers on me. And this is where I heavily disagree with him. No one likes cheat players. We've all had to deal with them, okay? But I never felt the need to resort to using mods, or in this case, save edit cheating, basically a form of hacking, in order to win my fights. That's just not something I ever felt that I needed to do. I just have to get around it. I got to use my own cheesy tactics. I got to use my own cheese builds to get around it. A Namekian, right? A cheesy Namekian. I just got to find a way to get around it, you know, with my own build. It's really that simple. As annoying as the cheese can be in this game, it can be countered. All forms of cheese can be outplayed. It can be counterplayed. It can be countered. Is it easy? Hell no. Is it fun? Hell no. But it can be done. And the problem is is I understand where you're coming from, but is that you're literally doing the thing that you hate, right? You're becoming a cheeser to stop cheese. I mean, you're still a cheeser because you're using something, because you're using a resource, an external resource, to modify your save file, and you're getting access to abilities and things that you're not supposed to have in the vanilla game, that 99.99% of people don't have access to, and you're using that to give yourself a unfair advantage. Oxford defines cheating as to act dishonestly or unfairly in order to gain an advantage, especially in a game or examination. So by definition, using mods, using a giant Namekian, something that 99.9% of players don't have access to, and using that online, you're giving yourself an unfair advantage, which would be by definition cheating. And you're going to see later that's really all I say. Is I make a general statement about that applies to literally everything, not just this game. But if you're literally using something to give yourself an unfair advantage, you are cheating. And objectively speaking, when it comes to Xenoverse 2, the most unfair way to play this game would be to cheat via using mods. That would be the wrong way, the objective wrong way to play the game, because you're using assets that you're not supposed to have you're not supposed to have access to this stuff. I mean, that's just facts. It's just what it is. I mean, I know people who use mods, and I say, yeah, you're cheating, but you know, I'm still cool with those people, right? There's friends that I know that used to use mods back in the day, and I say, yeah, it's fucked up how you're using mods. You know, you're cheating. You are a cheater, but I'm still cool with that person, right? So I'm not saying you're like an evil man or a bad person. The reason why I'm saying this, because it plays into what's going to happen next. But I'm not saying you're an evil person or a bad person, that you should be, or that you're trash at the game, because you could still be good at the game. Theirs is a good player, but unfortunately he's also a cheater when he's using mods against people who don't have access to that. If you're using something that they don't have access to, then you're cheating. It's really that simple. And when I said this pissed him off.
Objectively speaking, mods are the most unfair way to play. That's really where the line draws for me. I don't know. I disagree. I feel like there's some cheese that can outbeat any type of mods, bro, on this game. Unless we're talking about the insta-kill mod where you can like touch someone and they die, I disagree. Giant Namek is not that broken, Jive. I'm not even gonna hold you, bro. So I'd say you're tweaking. This Giant Namek is tough as nails, though. I'll tell you that, though. He definitely gave you a hard time for sure. He's just a tough ass beast. But he's not someone that's unbeatable, right? Like if you were a no life playing every day, like say me and you, we don't really just play this. I've stopped playing this a lot. If we're going against like a no life player, they can take me down, dude. They can take me down. It's just a way to simplify things. That way I don't have to sweat my balls off and cheese and all that stuff. It doesn't matter. You're not supposed to have it. Well, that's a hypocritical thing to say, dude. You're literally a modder. What are you talking about, Jab? You're not supposed to have mods. I don't get it. I disagree, dude. I mean, you use mods yourself. I'm confused. So I don't get where you're coming from. Oh, why use it all? I mean, dude, you still use mods, bro. You're a modder. You're using something you're not supposed to have. That's why I disagree with you. That's where you confuse me, bro. You're looking mad hypocritical. Yeah, I know. Offline. Of course you were going to say that. What else were you going to say, Jeff? That's where I'd say you're real hypocritical for that. I don't even know why you had to. I wouldn't get in an argument over mods if I'm Jab, bro. Honestly, it's a bad place to try to take more high ground if you're modding yourself. Yeah, you're wrong, dude. You're literally a modern mods online, bro. I don't get the deal is, bro. Either way you look at it, bro, that's how I play. You can feel how you want, but just know you can't sit there and just say, well, you use mods, blah blah blah, you bad guy. You can't just do that. It's not that simple.
All right. So, yeah, it gets worse from here. But here's the first part that I just want to address real quick. So, he disagrees that it's unfair to be using mods on people online, but doesn't explain why it's not unfair. That's something that you'll notice that he doesn't do at all going forward, is that he won't say why it is unfair. He won't ever say that, oh, using mods is completely fair. Because he knows it's not fair. He knows it's bullshit, right? He doesn't actually believe the things that he says. He knows that. I just think he's in denial. He immediately deflects and says, well, you use mods, Jab. So therefore, it's okay that I use mods. You use mods too. What are you talking about? You're being a hypocrite. And it's just like, what? It's not the same. I use them offline, on PC, not on PlayStation, against other people. I use them offline. He'll keep using that point. That's his main argument, okay? His main That is just to deflect what I said, deflect the criticism and say, well, you use mods too, so it's not a big deal. Or other people use mods. It's not a big deal that I use it. Other people are cheating, so therefore it's fine. And it's like, no. And it's not the same. It's not remotely the same. It's a false equivalence. Me using mods on PC in an offline environment where it's not affecting anybody at all is not the same as you going into an online environment and using mods against people who have no way of getting around it because they don't have access to the mods themselves. It's not remotely the same. You're using it to give yourself an overt advantage over your opponent. I'm using it literally by myself in offline mode against NPCs that are also modded, by the way. Modded NPCs, modded characters with modded skills and stats. So it's not like, how am I cheating? Like, who am I cheating against? I'm playing by myself. I'm cheating against myself. That doesn't work, man. So that's very weak argument, but he uses that as the crux of his argument the entire time. That's his entire counter argument. Oh, well, you use mods too, so I'm in the clear. You use mods too. You're a hypocrite. And it's like, no, I don't use mods online against people. And I never will. I never have and never will. Even if I did, it still doesn't justify you doing it. It doesn't make you any better. The whole point is that, yeah, you're still a cheater. Like, I mean, yeah, you had already admitted that you do it. You haven't denied that it's cheating. You just deflect and say, oh, well, I'm not the only one doing it. Everyone else is doing it. So therefore, it's fine. When it doesn't excuse it, you're still cheating. But like I said, oh God, man, I'll just let it play. It gets bad.
I don't use them on play. So what, dude? Oh, well, I don't use them on the Nintendo. Does that make me any better? No, dude. You still use mods on Xenoverse 2. You still do it. You still cheat the game Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. What are you talking about? All over your channel, you post your modded shit. You're literally cheating every time you're doing that. It's, and you're doing things that you should not be doing on a game, on an official game. So I don't get what you're talking about. You low key sound really dumb. You low key sound really dumb, bro. I don't think it's that big a deal, Jeff. I use my mods online. You use your mods offline. I don't really care.
Yes, because when I post a video of me showcasing my modded CACs doing crazy modded skills and combos, I'm cheating the game, right? Or when I post screenshots and photos and photo mode of my characters with mods, I'm cheating the game. I mean, it's such a bad faith argument, man. It's not remotely the same. You're actively promoting cheating on the game by using the mods on stream, using them in videos if you do that, and then also giving away saves if you do that as well. I think I saw that you were doing that, giving away saves or something like that. So, I mean, we're not the same. You're actively promoting people to cheat in the game so they can use mods to give themselves an unfair advantage. That's how we got to this point right now. That's why the game is in the state that it's in, because people like you have just promoted this and endorsed this modding shit, and you're openly just giving it out to the public, selling it to people so that they can share with their friends and they can all share mods and play mods and cheat the game, and it ruins the experience for regular players who just want to play the game the way it was meant to be played. The mods that I have are for me. It's to enhance the gameplay for me and for you guys, for the entertainment value whenever I do like a showcase of my characters or whatever. That's what it's for. But it's not for a competitive advantage, which is what that is. That's what you're doing when you're using mods against people online. You're giving yourself a competitive advantage over your opponent. It's hypocritical of you because you claim to not be competitive. You don't like being sweaty. You don't like playing competitively. You don't take the game serious, but you take it seriously enough to take an external resource and save wizard, using it to modify your save data and then porting that over to your PlayStation and then using that save data on your game to get access to unobtainable items and assets that you're not supposed to have, that's locked in the vanilla game, and you're using it on people who don't have those locked assets. It's not fair. That's all I was saying. And I wasn't specifically talking about you. I was just making a general statement of what it means to use mods online. It just makes you a cheater. It is what it is. It's just, I just don't know how else I can explain it. It's not meant to be a personal attack against you. It's not meant to be a dig at you. It's not meant to put you down. I wasn't calling you a bad person. That's not what I said. This is the thing he's going to do a lot. He's going to start straw manning and creating boogeyman arguments and start putting words in my mouth that I never said, which quite frankly, honestly, it just made me laugh. It was just ridiculous, but He starts saying all these crazy things that I never said. All this projecting that he does based off of, the simple fact that using mods online against online people who don't have access to those mods, those cheats, is cheating. I mean, that's literally what it is. I just don't know why he got so, defensive when I said that. He's calling me names and stuff, and that's the name calling. Just wait and see what happens here, right? It's hilarious.
I just said I use my mods on PC offline. Buddy, I completely hear you, bro. You're literally telling on yourself, bro. You hate cheese, but justify using mods online, yeah? You sound mad stupid, bro. I use mods on cheesers, dude. That's how I am, bro. That's how I've always been, literally. That's what I do. I'm serious, bro. Like, I like doing flashy game, bro. I like playing flashy. That's what I do, bro. Is what it is. Mods online, dude, is super lit, bro. Honestly, I get to play with my friends, bro. I get to play with Q. I get to play with all my boys, bro. I get to play with Michael, all my guys, bro. And we use the cool modded transformations that we don't get to have. I don't always use it just to, win a match. Is what it is. It makes me a hypocrite, not me. I disagree. I think it makes you an absolute hypocrite. You use mods, I use mods. I don't get it. I use it in online play, but I don't cheese anyone but cheesers when I'm using my mods, so it really doesn't matter. When I use my mods and I'm playing clean and playing flashy, I literally used my mods earlier this stream. I used my flashy female sand girl. I made a build video where I used my mods in online matches. I literally have done that, Jeb. You really don't know what you're talking about. That's what I do. Just like Saucy Steezy, I use mods. That's just how I get down. I don't get it. You sound like a mod hater, bro. A person that just hates modders. That's a talking point. That's like, for example, other talking points, bro. That's just stupid. You're just going based off of a talking point. I think, honestly, you're very, very unproductive in the conversation if you're just going to sit here and try to shout me down for using mods online when you're using mods in the first place. You're honestly a fool right now. Low key. I'll use mods in matches. Like, this is my girl, by the way, bro. Like, this is my female sand girl, literally. You haven't seen me use her today? I used her today a couple of times. In fact, I'll use her right now with my boy. That's how I play. What are you talking about? I use mods online all the time. What the hell you mean? And people in the stream have also used mods today, so I don't get it. Yeah, no, I love mods, bro. Mods are freaking dope. Look at this freaking form, bro. Like, that's so freaking fire, bro. Like, what? I use mods in an environment that doesn't give me an unfair advantage against my opponents. Okay, fair. But you're still using mods. Why are you shitting down mods? It's something that, again, you're being a mental gymnast yourself, Jab, because, again, you're acting like I use this and say I'm good at the game. You're acting like I'm a competitive player and I go online bragging about how good I am. I do not use my Giant Namekian in online matches and gloat and showboat and say I'm better than you at the game, Jab. So I just tell you, like, respectfully, bro, chill the fuck out, dude, because you don't know what you're talking about. I use it to end the match and get them the fuck out. That's what I do. So I don't know what you're talking about, bro, but if you're just going to be here and you're going to keep all this nonsense, bro, get the fuck out, because you sound really dumb as hell. Being a modder that does YouTube videos, talking to me like we don't do the same shit. We're not using the same fucked up shit.
Boy, man. Insane. Absolutely incredible. Like I said, he's just ignoring the main point, is that if you're using it online against people, you're still cheating. Like, it doesn't matter how you want to, square it, right? Or why use it against my friends and we having fun? I mean, that's one thing. If you're playing with your friends and they don't mind, or if you're playing with your friends, they also have mods and y'all just goofing around, that's one thing. But then when you're taking them online against randoms and then you pull out your Giant Namekian against someone who inconvenienced you by picking Cooler or Bardock, it's like you're no better than the other guys. You're really not. You're not better than them. I mean, you're just as bad as they are in terms of, I guess, honor, right? I mean, you're resorting to use the most cheap tactics to win. It's the same level. I mean, I just don't understand how you can try to square this and say, oh, what's fine? Everyone else is doing it, so therefore it's okay when I do it. Again, he doesn't say that it's unfair. He just says that, well, I use it against cheesers. It's ironic that he says I'm trying to take the moral high ground on it when that's literally what he's doing, trying to take the moral high ground by saying that I'm also a cheater because I use mods offline. It's literally what distinguishes us. I'm using PC mods, which is where the mods are supposed to be, and you're using them in a place where they're not supposed to be. Why do you think you can't mod on Switch? Why do you think you can't mod on Xbox? Because they're not compatible. The save wizard doesn't work for those consoles. So for some reason it works for PlayStation, but it's not supposed to. Unfortunately, it does, and that's how you're able to get away with it. Because if this was any other game, I guarantee you, because I think he plays Call of Duty, and you guys know in Call of Duty, people who cheat in Call of Duty, they pull out the mod menu, they pull out, they have aimbot, they'll have wall hacks, just different types of hacks that they'll pull out to give themselves an unfair advantage. I mean, you guys should know about the cheating in Call of Duty that happens, right? The hackers in Call of Duty. And no one's going to look at those guys, those people who are cheating in Call of Duty and say, hey, that's cool, right? Yeah, they're just using it against people who, inconvenience them, who are playing a certain way. Those campers, oh yeah, they deserve to get aimbotted and literally shot through a wall from 500 miles away as soon as they spawn. They definitely deserve that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because somebody is doing something you don't like in a video game does not mean you have the right to then cheat the game and then ruin the experience for literally everybody who's playing it. There's no justification for that. It's like, again, I'm using mods offline by myself and using it to enhance my experience. What you're doing is, yeah, you may be enhancing your experience, but at the expense of everybody else's experience. While you get to enjoy the game and get access to things you're not supposed to have to enhance your gameplay, everyone has to suffer the consequences when you use it as an exploit to win easy games online. That's why I said mental gymnastics, because you're literally jumping through hoops of logic to try to make it seem like what you're doing is like fair when it's not. It's not fair. That's literally what I'm saying. That's my whole point. It doesn't make it fair. And again, he has yet to refute that argument. Like, he has yet to say what I'm doing is fair. He just says, oh, everyone else does it, so it's fine. And that's just not an argument. You can't deflect. Deflection is not a counter argument. He says I'm using a talking point. And it's like, what? I literally just stated a fact. It's not a talking point. It's a fact. And even if it was just a quote unquote talking point, is it wrong? Like, calling it a talking point, again, that's not a counter argument. Oh, you're just using talking points. Okay. Is what I'm saying wrong? Can you say, you can't just say that I'm wrong, but then not explain why I'm wrong, right? You got to have an argument, man. He says that I'm a mod hater when it's like, no, again, he's missing the entire point. I'm not hating on mods themselves. I just disapprove of the use of mods in an online setting. If you want to just use it online against your friends and just mess around and goof off, that's fine. I don't care. But when you're playing online against random people and you don't like that they're playing a certain way, you don't like that they're using Goku, that does not give you the right to use mods on them. It doesn't. That's simply all I'm saying. That applies for literally anybody. It applies for literally every other game. The only reason why people like Zers defend it on this game in particular is because they can get away with it. If this was any other game, this is Call of Duty, and they would say, if somebody using wall hacks, they would say, yeah, that person should be banned. That they would report that person and say, yeah, that person's cheating. They should be banned from the game. They wouldn't endorse that. They wouldn't want other people to be using cheats like that, because then it would ruin the fun. So no, they would want that person to be punished for it. But because Xenoverse, the devs are so incompetent that they haven't done anything to fix this modding issue, and it's been an issue for like 5 years now, and it's still been an ongoing problem. Well, that's not entirely true. I know they did nuke most of the mods, especially the super OP ones, but the point is the mods are still in the game, and there should be no mods at all. But regardless of that, people have become complicit, and they're just okay with it, and they think it's fine. It's a real damn shame. I just wish people would get out of that mindset, because it ruins the game. This is why the game is the way it is now.
That's not my point. I never said that's not my point. You did say that. What are you talking about? What's your point? Get to your point, dude, because you're low-key, like, calling me all these names now. So you ought to get to the point then. What the hell is the point? You mental gymnast, hurry up and get to the goddamn point. What are you trying to say? Either way you put it, I think you're pretty wrong, bro, whatever you're going to say. How are you going to get out of this one, Jab? I've appreciated your difference of opinion, bro, but if you're going to call me a mental gymnast and call me the devil for using mods, you got me fucked up, dude. You got me bent, bro, and I think you're wrong for that, dude.
What?
I really think you're wrong for that. You got a boy fucked up. You just called me a mental gymnast. You mental gymnast? What are you talking about? You're asking me, you saying calling you names, question mark, Jab? What are you talking about? You telling me you didn't call me a mental gymnast just now? You're in trouble, bro. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. You're in trouble, bro. You're in some trouble. I said mental gymnastics. Okay, yeah. That's the same thing, isn't it? That's the same thing, dude. Mental gymnastics. You're calling me a mental gymnast by saying that. Like I'm trying to avoid or manipulate. I'm not manipulating, bruh. You're just calling me out for mods while being a modder online, buddy. Like, come on, bro. It's so weird. I'm over here vibing on stream, bro, and you're over here trying to attack me. Just I tell you like something that you should already know that you're just too dumb to know. I use mods online. Kid, I use mods online all the time. I have whole videos on it where I've gotten hundreds of views and lots of love from it. Because people know mods are lit, mods are dope. That's why people watch YouJab on YT, because mods are dope. If you're not using it in a cheesy way, dude, it's fine. Dude, just get out of here, bro. You're wasting my time, bro. I don't appreciate this. If you're going to keep on going back and forth and then trying to say you're not calling me these names that you're calling me, dude, just get out. Because you did call me that. Yeah, for real, Marcus. Who the cares, bro? Like, Jab, shut up already and quit arguing with me about it. Drop it, or you can keep going trying to say that I'm wrong for using mods online matches. Use it offline. Okay, bro. All right. One more comment saying you're not doing what you're doing and you're out of here, bro. Cause I don't need that, bro. You're just coming in here and you're just being absolutely lame, bro. You're being absolutely lame. Here's one of your comments. You say, yeah, instead of sweating, you resort to cheating. LOL, but it is what it is. Mother effer, you cheat all day. You use mods, dude. Yourself. What are you talking about? Dude, you can go with that, bro. You can go with that. I don't know what your deal is. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, why are you coming in here being a troll? Again, players who don't have them is cheating. Dude. Like I said, I'm not trying to go back and forth with you, bro. Just drop it. We're done talking about it. Are you a child? Why are you continuing to talk about it? You can say what you want, but just be honest. If you're saying that me using mods online is cheating, then own up to it. You're trying to play the victim card and saying, well, I just use it offline. I just use mods offline. That's a dumbass argument, in my opinion, right? That's not going to hold any weight, Jab. But go ahead and say that if that's how you feel. And you've been getting into a whole lot of nonsense, dude, in the chat. It's good that you have your own opinions. That's fine. But just say how you feel. Alright, bro. Dude, come on, bro. Alright, well, you're out of here, bud. Golly, that kid's freaking annoying, dude. Nah, but look at all those deleted comments, bro. Golly, he was arguing with me for like so long, dude. Come on, bro. Like, just get to the point, bro. You can see I'm like busy streaming all of that, bro. You don't need to make the whole thing a big deal, bro. Nah, he would have been chilling, bro, if he would have just said, like laid down and called me a name and just stuck by it. But he wants to say these things about me and call me his names and then just try to act like he didn't say it. Like, oh, we're just chilling in the party, like nothing happened. Like, nah, dude, you tweaking. You got me messed up, bro. I don't appreciate it. Like, don't sit there and try to condemn me for using the mods online. You use mods in the first place. I don't get it. Like, offline, online, like, bro, that's like you hitting somebody. You hit your wife, you hit your girlfriend, bro. You hit her in private. I didn't hit her in public. I didn't hit her. I didn't hit her in the restaurant. I hit her when we got home. I hit her when we got, like, I don't get this, bro. You're tweaking, bro. We're modding, bro. That's what we're doing, dude. It doesn't matter.
Wow, absolutely incredible. It's just, wow. That was just every time I listen, I'm just like, wow, how did it get here? It's just insane how that escalated. But wow, okay, where to start? This goes back to what I was saying earlier, right? About how it's hard to articulate everything that I want to say, and how I'm not chatting with him in real time. So when I said that's not my point, he's like, get to the point. What is your point? I'm responding to something he had said before when he was talking about how, well, I don't use bots and say I'm good at the game. And he was saying how he doesn't use the Giant Namekian and brags about using Giant Namekians, even though he literally just was before this argument. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, that's not my point. It doesn't matter if you're bragging about it or not. The point is you're still cheating. Like, that's the whole point. It doesn't matter how you're using it or why you're using it. The fact of the matter is you're using them online against people who don't have access to it. You're giving yourself an unfair advantage. So by definition, you're cheating. It's really that simple. That was my point. I already made it. He kept telling me, get to the point, get to the point. What is your point? I gave it to you. I already said it. And you get to, if refute it, you just continue to ignore and deflect it. Now you can accept and say, yeah, I am a cheater. And then be like, okay, you can acknowledge it. You can accept that as fact that you are cheating when you are in fact cheating when you use mods online. And that's it. You can just accept it and move on. But I feel like, I don't know what it is. Like, maybe in his mind, he just doesn't want to believe that that's what he's doing. And he just can't accept it. And he's just denying it. But that's just blatantly what it is. You outright admitted and said that you do that. And I'm not doubting you when you tell me that you're telling me that, yeah, I use mods all the time, but what are you talking about? Well, I never said you didn't use mods. I mean, yeah, you're telling me that you do. My point is that you're using them online. Yeah, that's my point. Yeah, you're using them online and it's cheating. That's all I was saying. I don't know how it spiraled into this. I was simply just stating a fact. And it's just funny. He literally said I called him the devil. Like, when did I say that? At any point did I say that you're the devil for using mods? Like that was like, bro, what? I was just like dumbfounded when he said that. Like, he says I'm calling him all these names. I said mental gymnast. I'm saying you're going through mental gymnastics, which means that's not me name calling. It's a phrase when you're basically you're just coming up with different excuses in your head to try to justify a certain thing. Like, you're just jumping through hoops of logic. Like I said, you're just jumping through hoops of logic. You're trying to excuse what you're doing and say, well, yeah, I use mods, but guess what? You also use mods, so therefore there's nothing wrong. Everyone uses mods. It's fine. It's okay. That's what I mean by mental gymnastics. You're trying to justify it. And no, that's not an insult. That's just what you're doing. It's funny when you say I'm calling you names when literally just a second ago you were calling me dumb and stupid because you didn't agree with me. So you can name call. You can call me dumb and stupid. That's fine. That's fair game. But as soon as I say you're playing mental gymnastics, oh, that's where the line is drawn. It's over. Now I'm calling you names. I'm calling you the devil. I'm calling you an evil bad man. I'm calling you the worst person ever. It's just absolutely crazy. The irony is just insane here. It's funny how he's like, well, I appreciate you having a difference of opinion, but you have a difference of opinion that I don't like, so you can leave, right? Like, you can have an opinion of me. That's fine, but you can't have that opinion of me, so you can leave. It's crazy, bro. It's absolutely hilarious. I really just don't know what he was grasping at here, because he was telling me to be honest with him when I was. Tell me how you feel. That's exactly what I was doing. I was saying, yeah, you're using mods online, you're cheating. I literally made that point. I don't know how any clearer I could make the point, and he just kept deflecting. He just didn't want to admit that, yeah, you're right, it is cheating. If he just said, yeah, you're right, it's cheating, and just left it at that, this wouldn't have happened. If he had just said that, then it wouldn't have become this toxic, cancerous tumor that formed here in this stream, because everything else, we didn't agree with everything, but for the most part, I mean, it was respectful. But as soon as I said, oh, well, using mods online is cheating, that's when he snapped, literally just like that. I don't know if it's some kind of like insecurity thing, but I think that right there is what struck a chord with him, because it's like, maybe he doesn't want to be seen as a kind of cheater, and maybe just hitting him with a truth bomb, just like, I don't know, it shattered him internally. It's like, bro, I can't be seen as no cheater. I'm not a cheater. And it's like, it is what it is. I mean, it's just simply, when you're using mods against somebody who doesn't have mods, you're cheating. It really is that simple. It'd be no different in any other game, but for some reason we give Xenoverse the pass because it's Xenoverse. You have to be consistent, otherwise it makes you a hypocrite, because you are in fact a hypocrite when you try to justify using mods, but then you don't like when people cheese you. I mean, you lose all credibility in an argument about what is cheese, because you already committed the biggest form of cheese that you could commit in this game. Any type of cheese that you have to deal with is trumped by the fact that you have mods, bro, and it's really that simple. Just the irony that he says that I'm playing the victim because I said that I use mods offline, even though he literally was just doing that by saying that he uses mods against people who cheese him, or by deflecting and say that other people do it. That's literally playing the victim. I'm not a competitive player. I don't like to deal with that stuff. I'm not a competitive player. I don't like to deal with cheesers. They're sweaty, try-hard no-lifes. It's not fair. I need to use mods against them. My friends use mods all the time. Why? What's the big deal? What's the problem? Why are you attacking me? Why are you coming at me like that? What is your deal, man? That mentality is the problem. And again, that's why the game is in the state that it's in, because again, people like you, and it's not just you, Zares, it's people like you. They try to use any means necessary to justify their use of cheats, and they get super defensive when someone calls them out for cheating. If you don't want to be referred to as a cheater, then don't use the mods anymore. Stop using the mods online. But if you're going to continue to use the mods online, then you'll still be a cheater. Now, I'm not going to stop you from using mods. Obviously, I can't. You can do what you want. I'm just saying it does make you a cheater. That's just the reality. If you want to continue to use mods, go ahead. I don't agree with it, but if that's what you want to do, fine. Go ahead and use mods on people who play you cheese. That's whatever. It is what it is. I can't stop you. This doesn't mean that I hate you or that I think you're an awful human being or anything, because at the end of the day, it's a fucking video game, right? It's not a reflection of who you are as a person. I don't hate you as a person because of it. I just don't condone that, but I don't have to agree with everything that you say or do, just like how people don't have to agree with everything that I say or do. If you want to keep me banned, fine. It's whatever. I really don't give a shit. I'm not here trying to ask you to unban me. I'm not asking for an apology or like that. I'm simply just giving you my critique. I'm just giving you my perspective. I'm just giving you my thoughts, and just wanted to explain and articulate my points better here, because I didn't properly do it in the live stream. And I would say, just as a piece of advice, Zares, I would work on handling criticism better. You're going to have people that say things about you. You're going to have people that disapprove of the things that you say and do. that's just going to be a part of, you know, this job as a YouTuber. That's just a part of life in general. Yeah, if people say things you don't agree with, fine. If you want to just tune them out, can do that. You know, you can ban people or block people who criticize you. But I would encourage you to try to be a little bit more open-minded towards people. Whenever somebody says something about you, try to I mean, don't immediately go into defense mode and try to defend yourself. Like, just hear what they have to say first, because this is how situations like this start. All this really boiled down to was a misunderstanding. Maybe you interpret my comment as hateful. Maybe you perceived it to be like kind of as like a slant towards you when it wasn't. It was really just me making a general statement saying, hey, well, objectively, using mods online, it would be the most unfair way to play the game, because you're using assets that you're not supposed to have in PvP and using them in PvP. So by definition, be cheating. That was really how I was saying it. And that was basically, it wasn't like a dig at you like, oh, you're a bad person, Zares. How dare you use mods online? You're a bad person. You're using mods online. You're evil. I'm unsubscribed. Like, no, like, that's childish, bro. That's super childish. Like, I'm not gonna fucking disown you or not respect or lose respect because you use mods on a game I don't even really play anymore. I'm just simply just stating a fact. Like, that's all I was really doing here. It wasn't meant to be a personal attack against you at all. I apologize if it offended you. That wasn't my intention. It was just to simply just lay out the facts, right? That's what I do. I do that, and it gets people upset sometimes. It happens. You're not the first person, probably not going to be the last person, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So this is a super long video. It probably didn't need to be this long, but I wanted to just, like I said, address everything, explain everything. And like I said, Zares, this isn't me trying to attack you. This isn't me trying to harass you or anything like that. I just want to give an honest response to you. Like I said, if it offended you, I apologize for that. That wasn't my intention. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a dumb video game. Like, who the fuck cares, right? It's not the end of the world. If you're cheating in this dumb game, it's like, it's whatever. It ain't the end of the world. It is what it is. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys in the next video, live stream. Peace out.